Hey everyone, welcome back. It is shortly after New Year's, and like I'm sure many of you, I am feeling the itch to organize. We are downstairs in my basement today in my seed starting area, and one of my goals for today is to organize this space. It is an absolute disaster. I have really not touched this space since the start of gardening season last year in 2024, so many of the trays still sit here exactly as I placed them when I planted my seedlings out. And before the season starts, I really just want to kind of have a reset and get this place organized. So let's take a look at what we're working with today. So right here is my potting table that I use to pot up and start my seedlings. And I want to get this space cleared today. And right down, if I move on the floor, there's some other things that I need to move that don't really belong here, tools, etc., that I just need to put away. And I want to take care of these plants today. I've got a few plants here under grow lights that I just want to kind of rehome upstairs. I have a new little plant nook that I want to repurpose some of these as I make way for my seed starting that will happen in the next couple of months. And this is my grow light shelving unit. It's not the best. It's kind of a hodgepodge, to be honest, but when I initially started seed starting, I didn't have the funds to buy like a $600, $700, $800 unit. So I just kind of purchased individual lights, and it's worked so far. Maybe someday I will replace it, but for now it works. And right down here, I've got my geraniums that I'm overwintering here. I've got my dahlia tubers, my alocasia and colocasia tubers that I just want to kind of get organized and put things away, make them nice and neat so I have room to start my seeds here in the next couple of months. I don't know about all of you, but I know when I'm organized, I work more efficiently and I feel more motivated. So this is going to be a big kickstart for me to really be motivated and get the gardening season going, because I feel a little bit overwhelmed at the moment with the way things are. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to set up the camera and just try to get as much organization done as I possibly can. I've got my coffee, priority number one. I've got my garbage bag, and I think I'm going to put on some rubber gloves for this just to avoid dust or whatever it is, and let's get going. This is where I store all of my irrigation timers. When I detach them and prepare for winter, I take them out from outside and bring them down in the basement. And this way they are preserved and the longevity on them really holds. So these are all my pelargoniums, my geraniums that I overwintered. I did a video on this earlier this fall, and this is the first time I am overwintering them this way. I've got a few as indoor houseplants down here under grow lights, and the rest of them I've all stored here. And basically you just toss the plant in the bag, detangle the roots and get the dirt off, and I'll pot them up in spring and hopefully we'll see some beautiful geraniums. Here I've got my dahlia tuber. I actually learned this from Chicago Gardener. She just keeps them right in the pot. So I'm going to give that a try. We don't have it fairly humid down here. It's pretty dry. So hopefully I can just pot this up and it will start growing next year. Have had this chart forever. This is a guide on why my hydrangea isn't blooming, and Proven Winners released this years ago, and it has been so helpful. It has offered me so many different answers. If you don't have this, it's available online. You can get it like in a PDF and just download it. Highly recommend. papers from last spring where I wrote down what I was planting and when, and I kept it. And I'm so glad I did, because I can look back and see the exact day and week that I planted things. So this way I have a log, and I'll probably repeat this method again. Check out these coleuses, aren't they beautiful? I'm gonna move these to my plant room and put them under grow lights up there. I think they're gorgeous. I found a bunch of seeds, so that is going to be great, because next up is seed organization. So I am so pleased with this. Wow, what a difference. I already feel lighter and just relieved, honestly. I feel way more prepared and ready to start my seeds. As soon as I get those organized, I will be 100% buttoned up. So right over here, I kind of created like a gardening supplies shelf. I've got my tomato and vegetable slow release plant fertilizer. I've got vermiculite just for moisture control, different gardening resources, magazines that I've saved that I found really helpful. All my digital timers I've stored over here. This is an empty toolbox that I can use to store other gardening things. Here I've got some plant stands. Here, my neem oil. I've also got moldable silicone putty for my fountains that I have found invaluable in preventing leaks. So this is really helpful. I've got my stash of potting soil down here, some seed starting mix, a bunch of seed starting cells, more plant stands, and then all of my overwintered house plants right now that I've just kind of threw down here. They don't look the best yet. Some of them do. The coleus looks really pretty, as well as those elephant ears and these geraniums. Look at those blooms. I mean, just gorgeous to have that in the dead of winter. Beautiful. So that's kind of my goal with this one and this one. These are all bright red. So I will bring some of these upstairs. Others I'll just kind of overwinter down here. And yeah, I'm ready to go. Here I've got some potting soil that's just kind of ready to go. Shovel. My temperature, my thermometer that I'll bring outside. And this is kind of my potting station. This is where I pot up all my seeds, start my seeds. It's nothing fancy. As you can see, it's a workbench. So I am literally working with what I have at the moment. And this is kind of what works. The great thing about this is that if I make a mess, if I get something dirty, it is no big deal. Of course, it's work for me to clean up, but I'm not worried about damaging anything. So I've found this tabletop to be really invaluable. It's at the perfect height, like waist height. So I find that to be a really ideal height to just stand here for a while and start my seeds. This tarp is also super handy. And then what I'll do, I'll have my seeds all laid out with my schedule that I will rewrite. This is the one from last year. So I know like the week of April 1st, that's a busy week for me. So really all of April is very busy. So that's kind of my system and how I do things down here. It's worked really well. And these lights here, like I said, this is kind of a hodgepodge of an arrangement of lights. Truth be told, it is not an ideal setup because it is quite a pain. I have to manually raise and lower these. As you can see, they're on hooks up here, but they work. So I'm not going to just get rid of them because it's a pain. You know, in the future, would I love to get a brand new grow stand that has just an easily retractable lights? Yes, and I will probably do that. But for now, this works just fine. And I believe I got these at Menards. If you don't have Menards in your area, it's comparable to like a Lowe's or a Home Depot. It's a big box store. And these were like 20 or 30 bucks. You can also find these on Amazon. And these grow lights work wonderfully. And I will go ahead and put this shelf here usually fits right around 4 trays horizontally. And I've got them on heat mats and rotate them as I need. So this is a great seed station and I can grow a lot here. That's 16 seeds trays that I can start, and I rotate them. So depending on what needs to be planted out and when, and hardened off when. So oftentimes I can really go through many seeds. So it's really great. I also have this 4-shelf greenhouse that I've had for a few years that I will likely open up and start seeds with as well this year. So this is it. I'm really pleased with this. So right here, this is upstairs in our playroom / plant room. And this is where I've moved some of these coleus. And I'll be getting grow lights that are similar to this and then putting these in this plant, in these 2 plants here. These grow lights are fantastic. These come on a timer and you can just stick it right into the plant. So these come in a matte black or white, and I have them in both. And here you can set a timer. You can change the light to 8, 12, or 16 hours. I have all of these going on 16 hours. These are alocasias here and colocacias, and I think they're just gorgeous. They make stunning house plants, and I will plant these out in the summer. And this is my first time growing them, but they are shooting up new leaves and unfurling, and it's quite a sight to see. And here, I think this is Black Beauty colocacia. We divided those tubers together earlier this fall, and they're just loving their life here. And here are the coleus. Obviously, these will not survive just like this. They do need some supplemental light. Coleus do prefer bright, indirect light, preferably east facing. So I will get these under some grow lights up here, and I think that will be a really fun splash of color. And I have to fill in this bookcase here, maybe with some more plants and books and toys and whatnot. Another task that I've been meaning to get done for a while now is to continue to add to my living wall. I created this a few weeks ago in the sunroom, and I really would just want to add more greenery to this. I have a few hooks that have been laying on the ground here, and I'm going to go ahead and add them to this right now. So let's go ahead and do this together. And really the vibe I'm going for here is just more greenery, right? Creating a living space that has all of my indoor house plants so I can add to that collection. But I need to have hooks in order to do that. Because this is drilling right into wood, I'm not going to add anchors, so that really takes a lot of complications out of it for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and drill right into the wood and then hang the hook. And what I'm using here is actually a bracket, but I'm just gonna go ahead and hang the hook for the plant right over the bracket. And I thought this one was really cool because it's shaped like a twig. So I thought that kind of stayed within the nature vibe. This is really sturdy, so I'm not worried about the plant falling or anything like that. I got these really cute beaded plant holders. This is an example of one. I got these off of Amazon. I thought they were just really sweet. And I'm gonna go ahead and hang this fern from this right now. This fern is going crazy on me here. This is a perfect example of what happens when a plant reaches for light. I had this in a non-ideal location. It prefers full sun, full light, bright, direct light. And I had this in a pretty dark location, thinking that, maybe it will do okay. It obviously has not done okay. You can see this thing is shooting out stems here, just trying to reach for light, and it is struggling. It is browning in places. And I usually have this in bright, direct, east-facing light outside in an annual container where it thrives. And it has kind of suffered since I brought it inside because I don't have that bright, direct light that I'm going for. But I'm hopeful that by the window here, it will get all the light it needs. So we will see if I can rehabilitate that. I'm gonna go ahead and snip off all of this crazy new growth. And hopefully it will shoot up some normal normal growth here soon. I am pulling this plant through gently here just so it can kind of grow around the rope. I'm going to cut off this dry brown growth. And this variety of fern, I believe it is asparagus fern. It grows very quickly. So I am not worried about it coming back. So I am really pleased with this space. It's coming together really nicely. I'm going to continue to add plants here, kind of draping them around this branch that I'm hanging from these brackets. And this is just a branch that I picked up on a walk one day, and I thought it would be a fun fit. So we'll see how I like it, and I think it's coming together really nicely. Well, thank you so much for organizing with me today and taking care of all these tasks. I already feel so much more accomplished and ready to get going with the gardening season. Next step for me is organizing my seeds, so I will be sure to share that with you and we can do that together. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.